Hello, beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video. Trying to get this lighting correct. Okay. This is Olivia Grace. I'm back with another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to let go of your old limiting beliefs, stories, assumptions, your old self. I already had an idea in my mind of what I wanted to talk about, which is the answer to this. And then somebody asked me a question in my Patreon about this. And so I was like, well, I actually was going to make a video on a topic, but I feel like answering this question makes it just even more powerful. So I'm really excited. If you're new here, welcome. This is the Master Manifestors channel. Here I talk about law of assumption, manifestation, all that good stuff. If you're into those topics, then you would love it here, and I'd love to have you be here, okay? As per usual, I am intending for massive shifts and understandings for everyone that is in attendance. And yeah, I do have ways that I can work with you in the description. If you'd like to work one-on-one with me, you can. And if you would like to join next month's group coaching, you can email me. And you can join my Patreon as well. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Hi, Daisha. Hi, Lyric. Hi, Winfea. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Daphne. Hi, Drop Market. Hi, Healing. Hi, Ty. Hi, Kirsten. Hi, Moon. Hi, Summer. Hi, Heaven. All right, beautifuls, let's get into the video. Okay, so when it comes to dropping the old self, basically, the person in my Patreon, she was like, wow, like I've realized, a block of mine, and I'm wondering like what do I do though? Like I realize I've had this belief, and now what do I do? And so, okay, the first thing to understand is that there are multiple versions of you. Oh, Healing, wow, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so there are multiple versions of you. So the version of you who believes and experiences what you have been believing and experiencing is just one version of you. It's just a version of you that you have been consciously aware of, right? So, but it's not the only version of you. It's just one out of like infinity, right? So knowing that first, like that is the foundation, because let me back up a bit. When we are shifting states, right, a lot of times we can be aware of either what we don't want to be, or, like what we don't want anymore, or we can be aware of what we do want, but you kind of need to be aware of both. And I've talked about this a while back, that in my opinion, it helps to kind of know what assumption and belief and like self-concept that you're stepping out of, so that you can recognize it in your experience. Let me go more into that. So when things are playing out, for the person that asked this question, she was specifically talking about money. So when you're in the experience of 3D, and when you're finding that, man, I'm not manifesting money, or money is not coming to me, or every time I get it, I lose it. But you don't recognize that pattern that's playing out in yourself. And so when you don't recognize a pattern in yourself, you believe that it's just happening on its own accord. So, well, that's just how 3D, or that's just how money is, or that's just how life is, or that's just the economy, or it's this or it's that, right? So when you're not aware of what you're stepping out of, like just like I was saying with this person that asked this question, she said, ooh, I realize now what has been keeping me in my state. So that way, when you're seeing it, you can recognize where this belief began. And so you recognize it in 3D, instead of like, oh my God, see, this is happening again. I don't understand. What am I doing wrong? You can recognize, hey, that's my belief, that's what happens, right? And you want to know what you're stepping into, right? But we're going to get into that in a second. So what keeps us stuck is that loop, actually. What keeps us stuck is the loop of what you believe that you are is pushing out into your 3D. And then what's pushing out into your 3D is making you make an assumption about yourself. And then that assumption about yourself is pushing out as an experience in 3D. And then that experience is making you continue to assume something about yourself. And so that loop continues until you realize that this doesn't define me, right? What's happening in front of me doesn't have to define me, right? What's happening in front of me is something that it's a story I've been telling. And a matter of fact, now I remember the story that it was, right? So knowing, and not only that, there's infinite stories, right? Because if you feel like, well, this could be a way into Tryingsville, right? Where it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to be the better version of myself, or the different version of myself, or be this next version of myself. But your identity is coming from, but this is who I am, right? But who I've been is who I am. It's who I've always been, right? But when you understand that yeah, like you might be that in one version of reality, but who you are is actually multi-dimensional. Who you are is actually more than just the specific avatar that you're showing up as in the moment, right? That who you are is infinite. So you actually get to choose. And not only do you get to choose, but you're actually shifting moment to moment to moment anyway. You're shifting though based off of your beliefs and assumptions. So if your beliefs and assumptions, like, really hear me, you guys, okay? If your beliefs and assumptions always come from what's going on in 3D, do you see why you stay in that loop, right? So, but if so you're shifting all the time, but you keep believing and assuming the same thing because you make your assumptions based off what's going on. So you keep creating the same thing, similar situations. But when you can come above the identity, right? When you come above the identity and know that you're the chooser of the identity, you're the chooser of the identity, not the actual identity, right? Even knowing this on a higher level, that I am the being that is being Olivia, not really Olivia, fundamentally. I'm being Olivia, so technically I am Olivia right now, but fundamentally I'm not Olivia. I am the all experiencing itself in this moment as Olivia, right? Okay, so when you like being able to detach, to be honest, you guys, I don't know how mentally healthy this is going to sound, but for me, it does very much help to disassociate from the old version and disassociate from the old reality. That's what I do. I start to see it as something completely separate from me, something like, yeah, that was that. Not if you watch and never like and subscribe, you a hater. That's hilarious. You know what's funny is before I did my own YouTube, I never liked anybody's video because I didn't understand. Like, you don't understand if you're not a creator, you don't understand what it means, you know? But anyways, that was just funny. I appreciate you, D Savage. Okay. Anyways, though, knowing that you're above the state, right? Not the likes going up. All right, D Savage, you might need to be a mod or something like that. But but knowing that you're above the state, okay? Knowing that you're above what you're currently showing up as, you guys, okay? Like, in all ways, you are above what you're currently showing up as. You're not locked into what you're currently showing up as, okay? You're above it. You're the chooser of it. All right. You get to choose who you are. You get to choose who you're showing up as. Right. And this is a choice that you get to make on a moment to moment to moment basis, which brings me into my point. Okay. Which is what I was actually going to make this video about, which is presence. Okay. So being present, you guys, you hear all the gurus talk about presence. Oh, all of your power is in now, you know, like all the gurus go say that. And I used to be like, yeah, cool, right? I feel you, but I really was not feeling them. Because when you actually understand that there is no time but now, right? There's no time but now. There's no moment but now. What also makes us feel locked into an identity or makes us feel like stuck to the old state is time. How long is that going to take? And I've been like this for so long and yada, yada, yada. But you are existing on multiple levels simultaneously at the same time, okay? So, but how you shift, how you light up one of those levels is by being present. You have to be present. So here's the thing when it comes to our identities, right? You stay fixed in the past, right? Oh my God, but look at what this has been and who I've been and what it's been like. And oh my God, and up until today and up until yesterday and, all my childhood and all my life, it's been like this, right? And so you're looking into the past and you're taking memories from the past. You're taking statistics, you're taking logic, you're taking facts, you're taking all these things from the past and you're bringing them into the now to make a new assumption about yourself, because this is the truth, you guys. You're brand new all the time. You brand new now, you brand new now, you brand new now, you're brand new now, and you'll continue to be brand new at all times. But how are you conditioning your now self? Because here's the other illusion. Ooh, the power is in the future, right? One day, somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere across the river bend, there's this version of me that exists over there, right? And all I got to do is get over there. But until I get over there, I'm just this. But you don't understand that you're conditioning yourself in the now, though. You're conditioning yourself in the now, right? Like, for instance, like, I see that baking cakes is a very good analogy for creation. But if you're in the midst of baking a red velvet cake, and so you've got red dye in there and everything like that, and you're like, damn, I really would like to bake a chocolate cake. I don't really want to make red velvet cake, but you already put the red dye in there. But you're like, but damn, look how far I've come with this red velvet cake. I'm gonna throw this in the oven, and probably down the line, there will be a chocolate cake. Well, how is that? If you're still continuing in the process of a red velvet cake, you have to actually switch the ingredients in the face of the red velvet, in the face of the red batter. You have to actually switch the ingredients to match what it is that you want to bake now, right? Which is the chocolate cake. So if this is not what you want anymore, it actually becomes irrelevant that moment, right? It becomes irrelevant in that moment, y'all. That the moment that you decide that, oh, like, I want to be this now, the old self becomes irrelevant in a sense. And I don't mean that in a way of not honoring yourself or not valuing yourself or not seeing yourself or not understanding yourself, right? But it's in a way that I've made this choice now, right? In the now, I made a new choice to be different. I made a new choice to be another version of myself, okay? But you can only make that choice in the now. As long as you are concerned and preoccupied with the past and the future, with what it was, or the fear of what it might be, the fear that you have about what it might be is only relevant to the version that you're showing up as, okay? It's only relevant to the version that you're showing up as. The fear, like, a lot of times, especially with money, right? We're thinking like, oh, well, I'm not going to have the money. What if I don't get it? And what if it doesn't work? And what if this and that? That's not relevant to the person who already manifested it, though. That's not relevant to the person who knows themselves as a master at manifesting money, right? Your old story is actually not relevant to your new story. Your old story, even when it comes to people, you guys, like when you're manifesting your SPs and you're manifesting this or that, the old story about them actually is not relevant. You keep looking to the old story like, what do I do with this? Absolutely nothing. You move into the new story, into the new version. You see what I'm saying? Because they're actually completely separate realities. And you could see that, it's not linear, like I said, with time. It's not linear. It's not this led to that, led to this. It's that this is here and this is here and this is here, and you get to select. But first, you have to know yourself as the selector. If you don't know you're the selector, you're subject to play out that role, right? So knowing everything exists, being present. Presence is where your power is. The present is where your power is. The present is where you can be conscious, right? Like when you are lost in the past or lost in the future, you're not conscious. Okay, you're unconscious. That's why you're replaying out all these things and playing out old programs, playing out old thoughts, playing out old stories. But when you become conscious, what conscious means is aware, right? Aware. You're here. And for you to be aware, you have to be here. You see what I'm saying? If, I don't know, a big fucking like hot air balloon or a blimp was riding past in front of me, but I'm here lost in a daydream, I'm not aware, I'm not present, so I'm not seeing what's actually in front of me. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm in a daydream, I'm somewhere else consciously. I'm not consciously aware. I'm not present. My mind is elsewhere, right? But and that's cool, right? That's great. You want your mind to be elsewhere when you're putting it there though, right? When you're making elsewhere here in the future now. But you don't want your mind to be aimlessly elsewhere. You want to be focused and in the present. And the present is when you get to choose, right? When you're lost in the past, your thoughts are you're letting your past choose for you. You're letting your fear of the future choose for you. When you're in the present, you get to realize like, oh, I have the ability to choose. I have the choice. I don't have to just go along with whatever. I get to choose. Okay? So, next, replace the old self with the new self. Now, this is what I say. Now, sometimes we're like, okay, I don't want to be like this anymore, but you don't know what you want to be. A lot of people know very well what they don't want, but a lot of people don't know what they do want because we haven't been trained to think about what we do want, right? We have a problem consciousness, focus on what's wrong, what's not good, what's not right, instead of what do I want and what should I do, right? Who do I want to become now, right? So think about, and honestly, when you know very clearly what you don't want, it also makes it clear what you do want. What is the complete opposite of the experience that you're having? That's what I do. When I recognize a limiting belief or whatever about myself, what's the complete opposite of that? Right? What's the complete opposite? It would be to be like this, right? So replace, decide, and really define it, you guys. Who is that? Don't just say, oh, I'm broke and okay, now I'm rich. But who is that though? Who is the rich version of you? How do they relate to money? How does money flow to them? What is their experience with money? What are their thoughts and feelings about money? What is their day-to-day? What are their plans with money? Like really get detailed, because when, it's funny, when I talk to people and they're telling me what's wrong, they got so many details. It's like this and like that and like this and like that and like this and like that and da 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 da, right? But then when I say, well, what do you want? Oh, I kind of want it like this. That's one short, very sentence, but it's an essay of what you don't want, right? And it's just how we've been trained. We've been trained to focus negatively. We've been trained to know the old story. There's even the fear, like the state of fear that says it benefits you. Okay, hear me, y'all. The state of fear convinces you that it benefits you to contemplate bullshit. Because it says, if we contemplate bullshit, then we can save ourselves from it, right? We could save ourselves from it. If we contemplate all the things that go wrong, if we contemplate all the things that could hurt us or go bad, we can save ourselves from it. But when you know that your mental attention is creative, right? You know that your mental attention is creative. You know that it's not really ever beneficial for you to just contemplate and ruminate on bullshit, right? So replace the old assumption, story, belief, whatever, with the new assumption, story, and belief. Okay? With the new version of self. Okay? With the new, and then step into it. Okay? Step into it. Define it. Be detailed. But step into it. Stop looking at it as something over there, right? I told you guys the magic words. What if it were true though? What if I was this version of self? What if I was this version of self? How would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? How would I be moving? Right? How would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? How would I be moving? How would I look at my situation? Like, y'all, you could shift right now, literally. Think about whatever you're manifesting, okay? Think about the old version of you and who you're stepping into now. But what if that was true right now? Okay? What if that was true right now? How would you be looking at what you wanted? Let's take money, right? Money is difficult. Money is hard. Oh my gosh, I have blocks around money. Okay. But what if I was the version of self that was always incredible at manifesting money? What if it was always instant and easy for me? What if money flowed to me literally every single day, every single hour, every single moment? What if that's just what it was? What if I made $100 or $1,000 a day? What if I made 1K a day? That rhymes. What if that's my experience? What if that were true now? Not from the state of how do I make it be true? Hear me, okay? Hear me. How do I make it be true takes you out the state. How? How admits it's not. How admits it's not. How puts you in lack. How puts you in Tringsville. Just what if it was? Right? What if it was? What if it were true that I was who I wanted to be? What if it were true now? Imagining as if I said, y'all, let's play princesses, right? Let's play princesses. I'm a princess, you're a princess. You're not going to sit there and say, oh my God, but Olivia, I never been a princess and I don't really know how to do that and I don't really get it. And how do I, okay, let me really try. No, you're just going to imagine, what if I was? What if I was right now? And you'll feel a gown where there's no gown. You'll feel a teacup where there's no teacup. You'll feel a castle where there's no castle. Your imagination will start to fill in the details of what if it were true. Okay, so step into it. This is what I mean. Step into it. You want to shift fast? Step into it. Appropriate the state. Okay, appropriate the state, which means to take it. Don't wait for it to be given. Stop waiting for somebody to give it to you or something to give it to you. Stop waiting on circumstances to shift. Stop waiting on a person to shift. Give it to yourself and decide, right, that you're everything that you want to be. I was talking with my friend today and he was saying, you know, the only thing that separates us from what we want, it's like what we want just is, but there's this belief in the dream. There's this belief in the illusion. And that belief is what separates us from what already is, which is what we said, right? All right, so step into it. Last but not least, repetition and persistence, okay? Repetition and persistence, all right? When you are shifting states, today I was doing my metaphysical Bible study, and the first verse that I was led to, I didn't do, but it was talking about how, basically how the old state can try and fight for its life, basically. And what happens is a lot of times we find ourselves in resistance, or we find ourselves, you know, wanting to shift, but the circumstance hasn't shifted. Or even if we've shifted and we keep looking to the circumstance to shift, but we can't see it. Like it's not happening yet. So you're like, okay, I feel different inside, but I'm not seeing it in my 3D. So is it really working? You start to doubt yourself, right? But persistence, repetition, continuing in the assumption, right? Continuing in whatever it is that you've decided, that you've chosen. You are persisting in the assumption because you know that an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. You're not persisting in the assumption if it looks like it's working, okay? That's dumb as fuck. Like everybody here, please trash that. If it looks like it's working, I'll persist. Okay, then just be a muggle, all right? You persist because you know that you are magic. You persist because you know that you are magic. You know that your magic is in your persistence. Your magic is in your assumption. You know that reality is fluid, which really should have been on the list, right? Reality is fluid. Reality might look like that. Yeah, sure. But then all of a sudden it's something else, okay? All of a sudden it's something else. But it's not fixed. It's changeable. Everything in this life, everything in this reality is changeable. Okay. So repetition and persistence. I talk a lot about like sometimes as that old self starts fighting for its life, that's the point usually when we give up. That's the point when we're like, oh no, see, It's especially when it comes to money, because this is connected to our survival. So when 3D start acting up, the bills start acting up, the accounts start acting up, we like, oh shit. You know what? Just forget it. Forget I ever said anything. You know, I'm good with what I got. I don't need no more. I'm going to go back to, you know, working 2 jobs or whatever. And you abandon the new assumption based off appearances, right? But persist through that, okay? Persist through that. Do not let the appearance and the circumstance sway you from what you've decided. Okay? Do not let the appearance and the circumstance sway you from what you've decided. Keep deciding what you decided. Double down on what you decided. Insist on what you decided. Don't make it conditional on anything. Do you want it? Do you want it? Well, if you want it, then you should be assuming it. Not trying to get it, not hoping to get it, but deciding and knowing and choosing that it's yours now. It already happened. You loved it. It was amazing. Right? Every day is brand new for you to choose. Every day, every moment, right now, at 6:01, every day is a new moment. You get to be a new self. You get to be a new person. You get to decide, yeah, I'm done with the old self. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm going to do my absolute best to show up as this version, and I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to take a rest when I need. I'm going to take a break when I need. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to be there for myself. I'm going to be easy on myself, right? But I'm going to keep persisting in what I decided and who I decided that I am. Okay? So everything exists. The new version of you already exists. It does exist. It's just like I tell you guys, like, if you saw your granddad bury $1 million in your backyard, when would you stop digging for it? Never. What do you mean? It's life-changing. You're not going to stop digging for it. But if it's a old wives' tale that your great-great-great-great-grandfather maybe possibly buried $1 million in your backyard, you still probably going to dig, right? You're still probably going to dig. But when it gets hot, when you get tired, when it's been weeks, you're not going to want to dig anymore because you're start to believe, like, maybe that's just an old wives' tale. Maybe that's just an old tale, right? But if you know it, and that's why I'm saying everything exists. Everything exists. It all exists. So if the version of you exists, the reality you want exists, the manifestation you want exists. So if it's there, then you might as well choose it. But your choosing is in the present. Number 2. Your choosing is in the present. You make the choice in the present. You don't make it from the past. And the past is literally the moment you started this video 2 seconds ago. You don't make it from there. You make it from now. What do I choose now? You don't make it from what you think is possible from the old state. You make it from presence. Okay? And then you replace the old assumptions and the old belief with new assumptions and new beliefs. Okay? And with repetition and persistence. Okay? All right. So I'm going to read your comments. Yeah, it's 30 minutes. Yeah, I'll read them. And then I'm going to go live for my members. Okay. And guys, we don't have to delete people that are complimenting me. Okay. Oh, wow. Hey, Liv, I missed our Zoom call in Godstate. Today I was like, wow, I wish I could at least interact with her. I never catch her live and forgot about it. Then here you are going live and I'm here. Perfect timing, Shapira. I love that. Yes. So many things are falling apart in my reality, but I just keep going. Keep going. Keep persisting, you guys, okay? The old state is definitely fighting for her life. I thought I knocked her out, but she's hanging on by her fingernails. That's it for her. Damn, that sounds terrible. No, she's not holding on. She's let go gracefully, you know? She lets go and you let go, right? She lets go and you let go. The old story lets go and you let go because we hold on to it out of fear, comfort. This is what I know. This is how it's been. You let go fully, surrender fully. Okay. Dearest Olivia, that's so sweet. What's better, stating having something and dropping it, even when we miss SP or meeting them in imagination, or reminiscing nice memories when longing shows up? That's a very good question. I would say both. I think I think like stating something and dropping it, to be honest, just proves to be one of the most powerful manifestation techniques, because you're truly in your power when you do that. Like a god doesn't need to go back and forth with themselves or reality or anyone else. It's like this and that's what it is, period. Like, you know, but when you're manifesting your SP and you're missing them, you're already thinking about them. You know what I'm saying? So it might, if you're going to be reminiscing or you're going to be thinking of them, you might as well be thinking of it in your favor, right? You might as well be thinking of it in your favor, not to obsess over it. But when it comes up, then yes, direct it, right? But still, you can still direct it. Even when you're thinking of it, you can direct it in a way of, I know this is done, right? I know this is done. Yes. Reality got infested. I cannot. I love that. Okay. Oop. Let me see. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go live for my members. And I'm intending that this prospers you, you guys. Just understand and know that your, whatever it is that you want, whatever state it is, your old self is one out of infinity. It's not what you are tethered to. It's not what you are, like, it's not what you just have to live with, okay? But you have to stop identifying with it. And it's like I said, like, disassociate from it, you know? I don't, like, that's not me. That's not me. Like, no. And really, honestly, like, leave it in the past, but spend time really giving attention and deciding and feeling the new version of self, you guys. That is the best way to, like, drown out this old self. The old self is not stronger or more dominant. It's just practiced, you know? So just practice the new self, okay? Okay. Anyways, I love you guys so friggin' much. I'm intending this prospers you immensely. I am sending you guys infinite love, and I will see you guys in a video soon.